One of the good signs for the Hawks in the last couple of weeks has been their ability to start a game of football, not forgetting last week 6 goals straight against the Roos.
Young Bartel already getting a bit of it. Harley's kick. This is Cox. He's been terrific with them. His kicking is normally very good, and that is certainly no exception. Simon Cox kicks the opening goal at the MCG.
Been a huge start for Simon Cox this year. He's their third leading possession getter so far this season. He's been a fantastic pickup, and just here, this is his asset. He's kicking, and he's kicked the first goal of this game.
So it has been a nice start for the Hawks once again. Back in the middle, Daniel Chick now in the middle of the ground.
That is a surprise, Cox starting forward, because he's been running off half-back, hasn't he?
Well, he can play all over the place, and it makes him less predictable.
And he's a nice size. He's about 6'3".
So Wren down to Hartford, wrapped up by 3 Geelong players, so that's encouraging for Bomber Thompson. Joel Corey at the bottom of that group. Interchange in the foreground, young Robert Campbell. Certainly encouraging his football in the last few weeks as a backup to Nathan Thompson, and now today to Sean Wren. Stephen King, Wren, decisive out of the middle into half forward. Coming out to meet it, loose ball, Leckus, hands off to Holland, to the skipper Crawford. It is there. Goal number 2 to the Hawks. So once again, a promising start to the Hawks. It's 2 straight 12. The Cats are yet to score.
Well, you can mark that goal down to Sean Wren. He got the momentum going with his hit out, but Shane Crawford, their skipper, has played terrific footy over the last couple of weeks, and the Hawks have really started with a blast.
Shane Crawford's form, excellent. Excellent this season.
So the running of Shane Crawford, already he's been productive. The Hawks with the opening couple of goals. King and the Cats trying to change that, but Dixon's being the loose man across half-back at the moment, linking up with Cox. And now Holland only took 1 mark last week.
Beautiful kick.
He's already equalled that. And Sean Wren, after 2 weeks in the VFL. Again, Dixon. So it'll be interesting to watch what Bomber Thompson does in reaction to this Hawthorn start. Cox getting it in there long. Barlow looks the man most likely. That's a great mark, though. Scarlett.
It was great. He backed his judgment there and really attacked the ball, Scarlett.
A couple of Cats who can share it. Rook was going to give to Clark. In the end, he gave to Harley. And they get out of it okay. Big King using his foot skills. Kingsley, who's their leading goal kicker for the year. Mooney's in tight. No one really back in the square. Kingsley might have a go for them here. Great effort from Kingsley. Just missing.
Surprised no one went at Kingsley. Too much room in the end. He actually carried that ball about 25 metres. Hawthorn have to push a player to the oncoming traffic. Tallis short to Crawford. Always good for football to get the early touches in any game. Crawford into the middle. Barker has got it.
He works hard, Johnny Barker.
Hands off again. McCabe out of defence towards Holland. Push in the end. Has to be a free, and is. And front position to Daniel Foster.
Did it well then. He played in front.
So changed direction. Sanderson, excellent player. Best and fairest last season. Still at a half-back, and Graham has it.
A long way up the ground, obviously, as he kicks from half-back to half-forward. Pretty open forward line for the Cats. Tallis was the flyer. Lee just couldn't take it with him. Mark Graham, Tallis, and here's this run of half-back. The Hawks are so good when they get momentum up. And Rook did well to stop Holland, who was lurking very dangerously. Sanderson on the way out this time. Great kick. Milburn has pushed well forward. And on the overlap, Kingsley just missing again the target. Graham, and they like to get it moving straight away. Cox out wide to the wing. Leckus has had so much of it, averaging 22 each game. Linking up with Adrian Cox again, just banging it forward somewhat haphazardly that time. Is that 50? No. Scholl taking the relieving mark.
And they have to watch, certainly, Scholl's run. As a half-backer, certainly needs a tagging type player to nullify his running. Cox, excellent for the Hawks last week. Bartel to Lord to Ling. Cats into attack. just out in front of Graham, who went in at slow-mo. Nick Stone did well. To Cox, Simon it was. Sharing it beautifully, Hawks. Roll into the running McCabe. Off half-back, giving nothing away. Hawks, Barker missed it in the end to mop up Crawford. Barker will run. Crawford will kick into the forward line. Nick Holland allows the ball to run on, and if there was anything good with that ball running on, it went another 15 metres inside 50, boundary throwing Hawks into attack.
Just where the Cats let themselves down, it is their disposal. Last week, 21% of their disposals missed the target, so they really need to concentrate and make sure they hit the presenting player.
Ball comes in, Stephen King from behind, Nick Holland going with Wren, team up to go against him. King the tackler, and this time a ball up just inside 50, Hawks into attack, and at the moment they enjoy 11-point lead.
And plenty of players around the ball, as we've grown to expect these days with footy. Milburn, who started forward, which is a bit of a surprise, working hard in defence at the moment. Lord against his old team. Was he tackled without it? No. Riccardi didn't have much in support. Ling, who's got the job on Crawford today. Adrian Cox. Good hard footy in there. The umpire letting it flow, and now we've got a bounce.
Hasn't Adrian Cox been excellent? I mean, I think his running has certainly added something to the Hawks.
No question. The last 12 months, he's really improved as a player. It's taken probably a bit longer than most people would have liked, but he's worked at his game.
So 2 straight Hawthorn. The Cats, 1 behind. King, Lord, being watched by Cox, Riccardi, and yet another bounce. And it's interesting, Steve, that Milburn is now on Simon Cox. So he's sort of almost playing as a forward, Milburn, but you'd suspect he's sort of almost not tagging him, but certainly watching him closely.
Well, I think he does, because Cox really does set up another number of plays for the Hawks.
So just under 8 minutes, Crawford 4 touches, Hutto with a goal.
There's the man we speak of, Simon Cox. King over the top. And the Cats just able to hold it up.
Good signs here for the Cats. They're just shutting down the game, and Hawthorn, who have been running the ball quite fluently early on in this game, the Cats have just slowed the game down a little bit.
We've seen their propensity to just bang on goals consecutively, haven't we, Hawthorn? They kicked 6 straight at the start of last week.
They have. They've blown the game open quite early over the last couple of weeks.
Here's Bartel again, so quick to get ball to boot or to hand.
Well done, McCabe. Interesting, Kingsley, Graham and Cameron Mooney all combining inside 50 for the Cats. That's the trio they're going with inside 50, the Cats. Ball comes in, King front. Wren actually pushed it their way. Bartel good in close. Joel Corey. Clark, can he find someone? Yes, Kingsley. He moved it beautifully. And he did well to get away from Graham, who's no slouch when it comes to the ability to run off. So Kent Kingsley with a chance. Kicking can let him down. I suppose it's easy to say from this distance. He'll kick from inside 50, 50-degree angle. Has to be good, and is.
Great kick.
It's real good. First to the Cats. So it's taken 9 minutes into this first quarter, but Geelong have their first goal. It's 1-1-7 Cats. They trail by 5 points. The Hawks are leading. They're 2 straight 12.
He really has been a find this year, Kent Kingsley. He's the leading goal scorer this year, and just the start to his games thus far has been sensational. He's presenting and doing the hard work, and he got his rewards by kicking his first goal for the game.
So Kingsley's kicked 15 for the year. The Cats are on the board this afternoon. 1-1 plays 2 straight. And they'll be feeling a little better about themselves now. Ling doing the ruck work. Milburn just missed it. And unfortunately for him, that meant Crawford and Dixon could collaborate, and Barker on the end of it. It's a dangerous forward line. Holland makes his lead to about 30 out from goal. And he just got away, Holland, there. But it didn't matter in the end, because Barlow was able to, in fact it's Lekis, was able to take the mark.
Much improved player.
Had so much of it, been averaging 22 possessions a game over the first 6 weeks. As Peter Swab said to us last week after the game, even when they were playing poorly at the start of the year, Angelo Lekis was one that was firing.
Holland back to where Barker originally had it.
Oh, he's got some momentum up now, and he obviously wasn't confident he could kick it himself. Vandenberg right into the danger area. They're lining up to take the grab. At the back, it's Barlow.
This is where they have an advantage, a clear advantage, overhead controlling the ball. They have to go in long. I think they've just been a little bit wide early part of this game, Sauce.
And this is the guy that generally gets under opposition guard. This guy here, he tends to bob up and kick a couple of goals for the Hawks, and they've got so many hard-working players, the Hawks, like Chick and also Holland and Barker, and this is the guy that gets under their guard.
So Barlow to ram through Hawthorn's third goal. 3 goals to 1-1. And the Hawks, at the moment, leading by 11 points.
Well, Nick Holland decides to do the role of the skilled midfielder. Went around one in the end, had players in support. Vandenberg, the supplier, and an unlikely mark, big mark from Barlow out of the square.
Mark. Good, strong mark.
So the lead back out to 11 points. 12 minutes first quarter. Wren out of the middle. Riccardi, Cats into half forward. Bartel will slap it forward. Tallis was there. Lekas mopping up again. McCabe good under pressure, the Hawks. Not a great kick in the end. The Stones towards wing. Clark can't keep it in. We have a boundary throw in, true wing, member side of the G.
David Clark much maligned for his kicking, Steve, but the fact that Vandenberg's on him, that means Hawthorn are playing him a fair bit of respect.
Yeah, obviously an area that he has improved this year. Word is that he's worked very hard on his kicking, and he's getting the results.
So Wren and King. Lekas, quick kick out of the pack. McCabe in close, over the top to Cox, the left footer. Can he get onto it? Kicked it left foot, running onto his right side, so he did well. He'll get it to within 25 a goal. Mopping up Scholl, threw it out. Milburn to Scarlett, a little bit of run from the Cats now. They'll change direction. All on his own is Enright on that outer side. Joel Corey, I should say. Enright's injured. Into half forward, and Kingsley will mark. So good movement of the ball, encouraging for the Cats. He'll go in long. They need a mark. Graham in the end got his hand to it. Mooney crashes through. In the end, well restricted by Stone there for the Hawks. Crawford. Miss Barker. Cats still with a chance. Going in is Tommy Harley over the line to be thrown in. And good, great signs in the game. Cats throwing everything at the Hawks and vice versa. So nothing in it at the moment. It's a pretty good game of football.
3 goals to 1-1. Cats inside 50. Wren, who's been pretty impressive this very early stage. Well, it looked like he was trying to get the ball over the boundary line. In the end, that's got to be close to holding the ball.
Yeah, great.
I thought he played it well. He really didn't have...
what part?
Well, I think he allowed the tackle to take him over the boundary line and really didn't have any option to go to.
But wouldn't you just rather go long, soft, follow the boundary? I suppose it's easier up here.
Cats sitting back there, Dave, so I thought it was excellent play.
Cox up to the wing. Cats in front. Sanderson now looking after Dixon. Had no one really breaking for him, so it's a contested ball between Crawford and Lee. Rook against Barlow. Barlow with a bit of extra strength. Foster Dixon. And guess who will be in it? Shane Crawford. All on his own down there. Was that interference? No. And the umpire was going to pay advantage. It's not now.
There was nothing wrong with that contest. What is a player supposed to do? Does he concede and allow the Hawthorn player to mark?
I'd really like to have another look at that. But Foster did everything possible to get some type of body contact here.
So what we're asking a lot of our players to...
shocking decision.
Yeah, what we're asking our players to do now is that when it looks like it'll be a late contest, to just concede and allow the player to
Doesn't
take
he have an onus to have in that? And I'm asking a genuine question. We'll get back to it in a minute. Holland to kick at goal. 3 goals to 1-1. Oh, no. Well, maybe Holland didn't think it was a free kick. 3-1 to 1-1. Does the defender have to have his eye on the ball at the point of contact?
Well, no, he made contact on the ball. It was a clear fist, a clear spoil. There was nothing wrong with it.
He didn't contact Holland at all.
Well, he made body contact, but the fist made...
I'm genuinely asking.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So you don't have to be watching the ball?
Well, he made contact with the ball.
And didn't make contact with Holland at all?
Well, he made contact with Holland, but there was nothing wrong with that. Where was the free kick?
All right.
Sanderson, southern side of the ground. They're going to the punt road end. The Cats thump back well. Crawford again. Great first quarter from the skipper. Into the pocket, Barlow. Concedes by foot back. A little bit of time. Simon Cox has kicked there first into the pocket. Dixon's got it. No, it's on the full. Well, did he take 2 bites at it? If he took it cleanly, it's either a mark or on the full.
Dave's just the Ling-Crawford matchup. Crawford has already had 8 possessions and Young Ling's had 1, so he really does need to tighten up.
So taking it out of the ruck or trying is King. Goes in again. Lord hands off to Shoal. Kicks, and it's all Hawthorn. Wren will just sit back there and take an easy mark.
And pump it and get it moving again. Pachoni setting it up. Young Johnson's got to go against Lekas here. Did well to make the spoil. Cats trying to run out of defence. This is Milburn. Got a bit of support from Big King. The man he's looking for here, sliding, is Joel Corey. Got a couple coming up from defence. Milburn again, no one on the overlap. He'll go for the boundary line. Smart kick, clever play.
Well, he had no one to kick to further up the ground, which naturally wasn't on screen. So the Cats really have to start trying to read the play and get themselves across the ground. And it probably gets back to a little bit of inexperience with a lot of their kids.
And the Cats were getting their numbers down back just to support their backmen there. So the forwards really need to work hard and present.
Hawthorn still in pretty good form. We've seen that the last couple of weeks. The Cats under a lot of pressure in this opening term. Repeating the news, a late change for either team. Ronnie Burns, somewhat predictably, didn't come up. Replaced by Mark Wool. No, his first game since 1998. And young Nick Stone coming in for Jonathan Hay. It was amazing. He got injured in the warm-up. He injured his back.
I think Wojcinski, who has just come on for the Cats, may go to Crawford. Certainly has the ability to run with Shane Crawford. They've got to release Ling because the Cats need his attacking football.
I think Riccardi has gone to Crawford just by the look of this one at the moment. We'll confirm that in a moment. Clark working with Wojcinski just on the ground. Benny Graham is on the wrong side, just couldn't get to it. He at least forced the ball over the line and out of bounds.
It's good result for the Cats. Graham just forcing the ball over the boundary line just gives them a chance to set up forward and allow themselves to have another contest.
Wojcinski has actually gone to Crawford. Riccardi, which is a better move, allow one of your better on ballers to just play an attacking style.
King getting it into the danger area, but the Hawk defence again standing up pretty well at this early stage. Crawford, another possession. Linking up with Harford, almost run down, not quite though, kept it moving, tap, and opens up for Tallis. Harford's kept on running away to his left. Chick leads, he goes very short to Chick, wasn't great delivery, clever though, kept it alive, and great kick out from Rees, taken by Vandenberg in his delivery, excellent, and once again Lekas to line up for goal.
They did it beautiful because Lekas was in the area as well and he peeled off.
They do. They work very well for each other. Just an area where the Cats just need to be a little bit careful is that in the Hawthorn back line, they just need to try and hold them up. Just try and slow the momentum down because the Hawks run very hard out of that area.
It's just been very wide. Coming out of defence, the Cats have been going out wide, whereas the Hawks have been able to get players back and run it through the middle.
Lekas, one false start there. But Angelo Lekas has kicked 7 goals, 1 for the year, and he continues on with that accuracy. So the Hawks to 4-1-25 and the Cats 1-1-7 with a bit of work to do.
Really like the way young Lekas goes about his footy. He's really worked at his running game, but also he presents hard, and just here he's already had 7 possessions for the game, and an opponent that the Cats really do need to close down.
So out of the total of 4 goals, Angelo Lekas has 1, but 2 other on-ballers, Simon Cox and Shane Crawford, have a goal apiece. So good signs for the Hawks when Holland and Chick aren't on the goal-scoring sheet at the moment. We will have a ball up as Vandenberg crashes in again.
Foster off the ground and young Gary Ablett coming on, Dakes, and it looks like Milburn's gone back onto Nick Holland.
Well, clear advantage here to Simon Cox against young Gary Ablett, so the message from Schwab may be to start playing that outer side and use Simon Cox's height advantage. King against King in the end will go to Wren, who hasn't been too bad, Sauce, in his first quarter.
He's competing very well.
So out wide again, peeling off. Simon Cox will take it. will go in, drills it. Barlow in the end crashes in, so players showing good commitment. Harley was the other player. Tallis out to Chick. Chick says, that is my... No, minor score. So it's 4-2, 26-6 scoring shots of the Hawks. 21 minutes first quarter. The Cats are 1-1-7.
First kick for the game. That was for Daniel Chick.
Milburn. Nothing long on offer, so that's why he's gone for Scarlett. And no switch on either for Scarlett, so he's had to bring it to the member side. Clark into the middle. His kick was okay. He was decked. Lajinski may have been a bit vigorous. Now the umpire here, is he going to use common sense and just warn him, or is he going to take it off him?
He's lucky
He's warning him.
If he keeps it. Very lucky.
We'll have a look, hopefully in a moment, but the crowd have just seen a replay, but here it is.
Well, as the umpire set the precedent now for the rest of the game.
Anyway, the Cats meantime have got it inside their 50. The Hawks, this is where they break from. Harford going wide to McCabe. Cats trying to slow them down, but once they get out onto the wing and in the spaces, they are very dangerous. Barker held up after he played on. Rees under some pressure here. Eluded Ling cleverly, back to Cox again.
Did it well too.
Very low kick for Barker, and he likes them that way. He's quickly up, Dixon leading, Harley trailing him, Chick leads into the pocket. Oh, strange old kick. Riccardi and the Cats trying to get some dash off halfback. Ling on the overlap from the Sanderson kick. Wanted to lay it off by hand initially. Now they lead for him across half forward. Well, I'm not sure where the kick was, who it was designed for, because Graham, Harford and the Hawthorn defence able to clean up. That was a long kick from Stone looking for Holland. Milburn was late, but it was successful. Vandenberg, again Barlow, Crawford. What a game he's played. Delivers for Chick. What a kick. Just couldn't handle it. It was so hot. Great work by Scarlett. Good tackling by the Cats defenders. Under pressure, Dixon. Was it high or was it great? It was neither, said the umpire. It's a bounce.
Some great footy there, but the work that Scarlett did on Daniel Chick was exceptional. Just there, managed to knock an arm away.
Great football in the end. Great contest, well called, Hutto. They did it beautifully in the end. Players from both teams. Half foot, just outside. Hawthorn's attacking 50. King will slap it forward. Crawford will miss it. Rees missed it as well. Bartel, hands and knees. Pushes it forward. Riccardi and Crawford crunch. Rees is back there. Riccardi did well. And good example to a lot of the youngsters. He'll get it free. Didn't have it in the end. They trailed by 19 points. Peter Riccardi into half forward. Mooney on the way out. Really nothing. Tallis did well just to get into the air. Peripheral pressure in the end was enough. Ball out of bounds, half forward boundary throw in.
And it's what the Hawks do really well. They do well to get numbers back to support each other.
Ball will come in. King again. So good habit in the end. He's pushing to the front. Wren goes in. Corey misses it. Bartel's there. Slapped out by Lord. Scholl playing for a free and not getting it. And between wing and half forward, Cats into attack. We have a ball up this time.
They're just finding it difficult to get the ball inside their 50, the Cats. They've only been in there on 7 occasions.
Clangers 5-1. It's not a stat that the Cats or Bomber Thompson would enjoy at the moment, so they're not using the ball as well. Wren.
Well, Stephen King's now given away 2 free kicks, so he's going to have to watch that.
So Lekas again, around too easy. Scholl slips, goes in, Dixon marks. Too easy in the end. And they got it into the middle, and that is one of the more positive signs about Hawthorn's football, Sauce, in the last 3 weeks.
I'll tell you what they do have, Dakes. They've got a forward line that has played quite a bit of footy with each other, and they work for each other. They open the space up, they run in and out of space to allow the correct player or the preferred player to take possession.
Well, 13 individual goal kickers last week for the Hawks was a great sign. We have 4, it is 5. Benny Dixon's first. So their midfield's on top at the moment, and they're winning on the scoreboard. It's a 25-point lead to the Hawks. They're 5-2-32. The Cats 1-1-7.
Well, we just see here the Hawks, this is their style of play. They run the ball up, get it in quick up into their forward half, and Ben Dixon, who is a renowned goal kicker for them, has kicked his first goal in his 150th of his career.
So both teams now playing a loose man in defence to the right and left of screen. The Hawks, though, completely on top at the moment. The Cats trying to respond, but Harford gives Hawks some drive out of the middle. Holland got to the front, almost able to take it. Dixon, who's had a big impact already. Sanderson trying to track him down. Wojcinski, tough bounce. Scarlett, Crawford. Good effort to try and tackle him, and in the end, it's only a behind to Daniel Harford, who also looks to be finding some confidence.
Tell you what he does do well, Crawford. We just see Ben Graham. He's only had the one possession this quarter, but none in the last 15 minutes. It might just need Bomber Thompson just to bring him up to the centre-half forward position, just to try and get him involved in the game.
Sanderson takes the mark. Where would you like to see him play, Dakes? Ben Graham.
Cross half forward, because he's a player that doesn't need to mark at 20 metres from goal. I mean, the other option is in defence, but at the moment, I suppose that's where the ball is at the moment, so you may try him there.
Yeah, I think he's pretty committed to play him up forward. Corey.
It's no point if the ball's not getting up there at the moment.
Riccardi. Now he needs to take this one, Graham. He's well out in front. He's certainly got the edge of experience and strength on young defender Stone.
That's why I want him in the forward line, Hutto.
Well, I didn't say he shouldn't be.
He really does need to go back and kick this goal.
So the luxury for the Cats is he doesn't need to mark it inside 50. So if he's playing up the ground, he's a tall, tight player. He can run, he can lead, he can present himself. Play him up the ground further because he can kick a goal or a score from outside 50.
He took 9 marks last week, but he was off target. He kicked 2 goals, 3, and he's continued that. And as you mentioned, Geelong really needed a more accurate result on that occasion. So 5-3 to 1-2 at the MCG.
Rawlings, 27.5 minutes first quarter, and the Hawks off to a very good start again. Rawlings will play on, kicks to himself and goes out wide. Half-back Holland, flat-footed, has to jump. Well thumped away by Milburn. Ablett will slap it forward, misses Riccardi. And boundary throw in just inside 50, Cats into attack. Need a goal just before quarter time. Certainly a lot of their better players or more experienced players just out of it at the moment. Scholl, certainly his running has been missed, and I think the Hawthorn homework or prep work through the week has certainly done the business there. King straight down, then got it again, kicks over the head. Harford will go no, leaves it for his teammate Reach. They called him in, McCabe. They are running through the middle.
Dangerous here.
Can play this kid, has been a real good player, goes in long. Crawford. And Wojcinski stranded in no man's land. The man that's ended up with it is the man that had eyes for the ball, and the skipper has one, lining up for his second, and the Hawks' 6th goal.
That was just so typical of the Hawthorn style of play. They got the ball on quickly, they ran it hard through the middle of the ground, and they got it in long and direct, and Crawford took the mark nice and deep into the forward half.
So within 15 metres, he'll kick back about 20, slide angle, goal number 2. The skipper, great first quarter. So 2 to Crawford, and the Hawks have 6. The lead now 31 points, 29 minutes first quarter.
How do you stop that style of play? How do you try and nullify it, Steve?
Well, there's no question that there's got to be an initiative and a real concern to be able to hold them up. In every contest, you've got to try and hold them up just to buy a second or two, just so you can man them up and put a bit more pressure so they're not allowed to run with the ball.
One of the other options, Hutto, best form of defence is
kick some goals.
Winning possession of the football.
Player rankings.
Get the opposition chasing you.
12 possessions for Shane Crawford. He is in magnificent touch.
5 Hawks, 1 Cat.
Tallis trying to break his way through. And here we go again with the loose man in the overlap. And so often...
There's 3 out here at the moment.
So often it's Leckers. Crawford tells him to go further because Chick's loose. Good competitive work by Milburn. And the siren couldn't come quick enough for Geelong. At quarter time, Hawthorn leads 6-3 to 1-2. 6-3 plays 1-2. We're underway in the second term. Sean Wren and Stephen King will watch that battle with interest as the afternoon goes on. Hit out wise at the moment, it's 11 to 9. But how would you rate the battle, Steve, between Wren and King?
Well, I think they're both competing well. I think probably Wren has got a little bit more of the ball in the air, but quite an even contest.
I suppose the saving grace or the thing that pushes Wren at the top of the list is basically the scoreboard in the end.
Well, here the Hawks are trying to get organised. Little mistake from Crawford. Just could have allowed the Cats in. McCabe well wrapped up.
young Wojcinski has gone on to Crawford, so he'll be following him around the ground.
Do you think Crawford will push forward like he did in that just maybe towards the end of the quarter, perhaps?
I think he does. He's a pretty clever player. He knows how to lose the tag now, and he will spend some time in the forward line just to try and manipulate what opponent he would like.
Scholl, Corey, the Cats trying to get on it. Riccardi's a penetrating kick, goes for the pocket, and a good lead from Mooney. And Rawlings, who had so much of it last week, is his opponent, and we haven't seen as much of him today. Jade Rawlings has had just 2 disposals.
Well, they were good in close on that occasion. The Cats not fazed by the pressure, and in the end able to use it beautifully. Good lead by Mooney. Has to finish.
Has to finish for the Cats. Has to finish. And the silence behind indicates it's a behind.
Well, a couple of set shots. Benny Graham a little bit earlier. And now Mooney.
They've all been gettable too, Dokes.
Yep. Just so important that you put them on the scoreboard. And has been the difference in the game. 9 scoring shots in that first quarter of the Hawks. They've done well. Stone, a funny old kick. Harford will contest against 2 Cats. Oh, loose ball. Lecker slapped it out. Harford over the top. Then Cox will move it on. By the palm of the hand, Graham further down the ground into half forward. Players jump. 2 Cats on the ground. And in the end, goes over the line. Tom Harley,
who's picking up Barker, but Milburn is also picking up Holland.
Ben Dixon dropping back in the goal square, taking Sanderson, probably the best defender for the Cats, away from the action. Ball thrown in. King did well with his right hand. Bartel kicks into wing. Lord, Wojcinski did well backing back, takes a good mark. So not a lot of movement. They'll go out wide. Kingsley used his body. Ablett at ground level takes it and hands off to Mooney. Open goal for the Cats. Lord will finish and does. So good start to the Cats in the second. So 2-3-15 to Geelong. The Hawks are leading 6-3-39, 3 minutes second quarter.
Really set up by young Wojcinski there, the courageous mark backing back, but Ablett's first touch here, he's clean hands, nice and slick there, and the Cats were able to run that ball in, and Aaron Lord ended up kicking a nice goal.
So Aaron Lord kicks the goal. Lord played 21 games for Hawthorn last year, but he was dropped for the last round in all the finals. And now he's back with his old club. And the Hawks could answer here straight away. John Barker.
Great kick from Harford. Harley was running back to the square. Barker back towards half forward.
Hollands at the back. Barlow in front. Well done by Scarlett. Hawthorn 6-4, Geelong 2-3.
Just love to see a little bit of run out of Geelong defence at the moment. Just finding it hard, working their way clear of pressure. Scarlett in that back pocket to half back. Leckis will come in, does enough. Vandenberg can't keep it in. Leckis also there. We have a boundary throw in the outer side.
And it's that type of pressure where backs find it difficult, Dates. The Hawthorn forwards are holding it in there and they're under extreme pressure.
Quickly to Christie for a further update on Jonathan Hay.
Thanks, Anthony. Yeah, what I found out is that it was actually back spasms which just occurred in the warm-up, and they thought, well, he can't go on and play with that. They're still not sure exactly how long that will keep him out for, but I mean, Mitchell White is missing for Geelong today with the same injury.
So the ball on wing after the Bartel kick. Players will see it over. And true wing outer side, we have a boundary throw-in. Aaron Lord on screen. Loves a goal.
35 goals he kicked last year for the Hawks, Aaron Lord.
He's got one this afternoon early in this second. The lead, 25 points at the moment. Leckis through the pack of players. Did well just get his boot to ball through the pack. Reese to McCabe. Hands off to Crawford. Has to kick on the left. No, decides a handball with the left hand. Beautiful handball in the end. Cox back to Crawford. Little bit of time. Sits it up. Holland will back. Milburn will contest. Holland goes back in. Does well. Wrapped up by 2. Milburn back in, so the signs are good. Bartel goes around by dummying a handball. On that left foot, Cox. Lord comes down at ground level. Lord does well.
Good recovery.
Flat ball in the end. Kingsley into Graham. Loose ball. Dixon again across half back. Players throw themselves in. This ball going nowhere, and we ball up, and certainly the Cats' intensity has lifted early in this second quarter.
Yeah, great to see young Wojcinski having a real crack there, but both sides very much committed towards the ball.
So Hawthorn leading by 25 at the moment. Bartel, again, has been so impressive. 8 possessions for the Cats, 8 for Milburn as well. Wren and King. Gee, King really going hard at him. Here's Wojcinski, just setting it up for Bartel. He goes off the left. Wouldn't want to be a forward under that one. Very tough. Graham, Riccardi, tough angle. The Cats need a lift. They need some inspirational play. Moody trying to provide. At least he kept the ball alive. Gave Kingsley the chance, and he finishes it off for his second. So good spirit amongst the Cats. They've hit back with a couple of goals at the start of the second quarter. 6-4 plays 3-3.
Well, Wojcinski once again had a little hand in that, but great play by Mooney. He kept the ball alive. The centre here by Riccardi, virtually to the top of the square. We just see here the quick hands actually, and Kingsley ended up kicking his second goal.
So 2 early goals in this second quarter. The Cats back to 19 points.
The next goal is critical, Dakes, for the Cats.
Wren and King. And, I don't know if there was a free in that. King had his feet planted firmly on the ground. Wren supplies into the forward line. Barlow has it now again at ground level. Crawford. Cheeky handball to Cox, the left footer. Oh, doesn't go close, just to the left, just misses. So he doesn't add to that goal in that first quarter. It's 6-5-41 Hawks, Cats 3-3-21. Don't know about that free kick back in the middle, but that's long gone.
That was it there. Again, a little hard to tell. But it's 3 times he's given away the free, so it's something we have to watch. And if Stephen King continues to do it, well, it's going to really hurt the Cats. Very dangerous. Clark. It was good not to give it up, really, in that circumstance. Sanderson got depth on the kick. Scholl. Great spoil. Towards the boundary line. Terrific play again. He's been so impressive, Nick Rees, in the first few weeks of his career.
Well, last week he went on to Shane Clayton after Clayton had 3 goals for the Roos and did the business there. And he's doing the business on Brad Scholl because he's running for the Cats all important.
Well, Rees had 30 possessions last week for the Hawks, so he can do some damage of his own. 6-5 to 3-3 at the MCG. Second quarter, Vandenberg not entirely wrapped up by Wojcinski. Cats had the extra numbers back there, and eventually they find the safety of the boundary line.
Interesting what they did on that occasion. That boundary throw-in, the Hawks actually sandwiched Stephen King. So you had Holland going for the ball at the front, King in the middle, and then you had Sean Wren coming in from behind. So it's closer to the Hawk goal. Need a steadier. They still lead by 20 points. Lead was 31 at quarter time. Thumped away by Tom Harley. Harford, no at home. And, it's through. It is good. Daniel Harford. So unguarded goal square has cost the Cats. Harford through the traffic at 7-5-47. The lead back out to 26. The Cats 3-3-21.
And we just saw Daniel Harford there just go across to Shane Crawford. We actually see Shane Crawford just at the top of our screen to the right-hand side, just lay a block for Daniel Harford to let Daniel Harford's opponent. And as a result, he ended up kicking his first goal of the game.
So the Hawks able to respond with their first goal of the second term. 7-5 to 3-3 now. Let's watch King and Wren. Again, Wren tried to take his space, but King. Harford was that high? Don't. And there's some talent amongst the missing Hawthorn players. Nathan Thompson and Jonathan Hay, of course, the 2 significant injuries, along with Joel Smith. Again, let's watch Wren and King. No free kick. Wojcinski's kick. McCabe watching Riccardi, but he's got loose here. Riccardi did well to share it with Edlund. Oh, he ran into all sorts of trouble. But Riccardi off the left can rectify the situation in the best possible way. So Geelong kicked 3 goals in 10 minutes. The Hawks won, and It's 7-5 against 4-3 at the MCG. 20 points the margin.
What a fantastic reply here. We saw the quick kick out of the middle here, but what about the quick hands here by young Ablett? He looked like he was in a bit of stripe there, got the tackle and was able to release a bit of poise there. And, Riccardi did the rest with a fantastic left foot goal.
He did well. Spot on. Great hands in the end.
He didn't panic.
And as all the good players do, they run with the ball out in front of him soft. So if they are tackled, the ball is clear and they are able to execute by hand or foot. So sign's good. Catch very good in this second quarter. Players throw themselves in. Well done, King to Shoal. Under a lot of pressure. Did well to slap it along into half forward. Corey allows himself a bit of time. Stephen King starting to get a little bit of the ball into the forward line. Kingsley from behind. Nick Stone wrapped up. And that young fella, Bartel, again in the thick of things.
It's a good tackle. It's great to see the kids actually getting in there amongst it.
So good signs. He's doing it all over the ground at the moment. Young James Bartel. Winning possession. Able to also contest a disputed ball. It's in the forward pocket. Ablett again to supply Lord number 2. So Aaron Lord 2 goals, and boy does he love a goal. It's back to 14 points. 4 goals to the Cats in this second quarter. It's 5-3-33 to 7-5-47 Hawthorn.
Well, we know Aaron Lord loves a goal, but if I was him, I'd be just hanging around this young Ablett. He's got very good hands and sets up a number of their plays, and he just knows what to do at the right time. But well done, Aaron Lord.
Cats have kicked 4 goals and Mark Thompson's got a plan, a cunning plan. Ben Graham's in the ruck. Let's see how he goes against Sean Wren. Stephen King's pushed forward out of the middle. Harford, high one, Chicks in front. Scarlett, good defence from Rook. Harley, look at the run they're getting now. Out in the space is Shoal. He's got nothing ahead at the moment and found it hard to really track the ball, but he did very well. And his delivery, Cameron Ling, excellent. And still they run. Brzezinski, who's had an impact in this quarter since he's gone on to Crawford. Cox able to relieve. Aaron Lord has got away from Cox in this quarter with a couple of goals.
The good thing with Aaron Lord playing deeper in the forward line as well for the Cats, it's taken Cox away. And last week he was excellent with his running because he was running into half forward over that wing position.
Clark as Geelong start to win some contested ball. High one. Rees tracking back against Corey. Good roving again from Ablett. You can hear the crowd lift when he goes near the ball. With a bit of a run up, Cameron Ling delivers and delivers well. Tight angle here for Kingsley.
You're right, Sauce. Ablett again set it up beautifully. His ability under pressure, not to be phased, carried it and drew a player and then handed off. And he set it up.
He knows how to play, Dakes. There's a huge upside to him.
So Kent Kingsley coming into the game had kicked 14 goals, 7 for the year.
They've done pretty well. They've pulled this lead back from 31 points to 14, the Cats.
He's kicked 2 goals, 1 so far today.
Now he's marking over the boundary, so not allowing Ken Kingsley to follow this boundary. Is there a restriction on how far you can go back?
We
saw it
the other week at Colonial. Last Saturday night, I think it was, the umpire in a similar scenario wouldn't let the player keep going back, because if he goes back a long way, I guess he improves his angle, but he's going to get so far out if he goes back too far that he won't be able to make the distance.
Nothing in the kicks at the moment, 67 to 62.
So when is it play on? When he comes into play? If he goes off to be to the right, is it play on?
Well, if he's over the boundary, it's out of bounds.
He's missed anyway, missed the lot. Bartel, big fly. Aaron Lord against his old side. Centres it, no one really there to take the mark except Ken Kingsley. It's a terrific set play by Geelong.
Well, look, it was set up by Aaron Lord, let's face it. Kingsley going across goal, did well under pressure, and the all-important centre back to within about 15 metres of goal. The hot spot, as they call it, did well to use his body. Good mark. Has to finish.
And he finishes off with a goal. And that makes 3 for Kent Kingsley. 3 goals won, and the Cats right back in the game.
Well, it was 31 points probably 5-6 minutes ago, but we just see here the discipline act of being able to send the ball to the top of the square, and Kingsley did the rest by taking a strong mark.
So the Cats are back in this game. 5 goals in this second quarter. Kingsley has 3. Graham, hand to it. Cox missed it. Wojcinski, who's been very good on Crawford. Only 3 touches to the skipper at half forward. In the end, Lord, too long. He's gone. No. Crawford slaps it out. A little bit of time to half it. So a lot of the runners dried up at the moment for the Hawks. And Pachani will mark. So still on wing. Off a step. Out in front. And can he keep it in? Is Nick Rees? No. So boundary throw in as the youngsters come together. Scarlett continues to follow Daniel Chick around. A lot of that no disposals has been the inability to supply into the forward line, the Hawks. It has been all Geelong in this second quarter. Cox hugging the boundary. Leckis threw it out to Harford. Joel Corey over the line.
What do you think of the move of Ben Graham into the ruck, Steve?
I think it's good. I think it gets him back involved in the game. The ball really wasn't going down to him when he was playing at full forward, but it just gives him himself to get involved in the game and get a few touches.
And you'd expect him to get the advantage because he is going against inexperienced Robert Campbell, so his positioning as Geelong go into attack all important, and Benny Graham should have the advantage there. Barker ends up with a free though. Hawthorn to turn the tables and go into the forward line. Chick directing, Holland will jump, front position Harley.
Pretty important time of the game this date, so this next 5 minutes is important that the Cats are thereabout when they go into the half-time break.
So Riccardi on that outer side, the veteran, wing, great kick, and good mark out in front Mooney. So again they're running, Ling into half forward, great signs at the moment, a great mark Aaron Lord. Boy has he been busy in this second quarter. Headache for Adrian Cox the moment, goes in quickly. Riccardi, great running, backing back for the Hawks. No free. Harper, McCabe threw it away. Great tackle, Ablett. Under a lot of pressure at the moment. Bateman, Campbell, players go in. Any way out? Oh, hands off. Standing start. Bateman just kicks back in. The hot spot, Dixon nearly threw it to Cox. They will get out though. A quick kick into the middle of the ground. Hunt underneath it. Oh, Harley, great mark. Called a play on, I don't know why, Milburn. It was a pack mark. Graham, hands off again with Wojcinski. Great signs, the Cats through Shoal.
And out wide, Sanderson's got some space here. Forward, he's got Big King. He's got Ablett, he goes for King. And King probably just too far out to score, although he is quite a big kick.
So Rawlings has to take King now with Benny Graham into the ruck.
And he can be a handful when he goes forward.
Kicked 4 goals so far this year only, but as you said, he can be hard to handle. The big man, Stephen King, to really give the Cats a lift and get them back within 2 points. He's done it! He's carried the pack, and we've got a game on our hands now. (7-5 to 7-3).
Well, they've really turned it around, the Cats. They've really got a spark by a number of the young players, but we just see here King, a big man he is, and he'll create some problems for the Hawks down back because he's a very strong player, can take a grab, and we know he's got a fair bit of presence.
Six goals in this second quarter of the Cats. Wojcinski went on to Crawford. Ling starting to get the ball. Kent Kingsley's been able to finish. Benny Graham is in the ruck now.
Riccardi off for the blood rule, Dax.
And that man, Riccardi, as you may mention, Hutto, another very good player. They'll be keen to get Peter Riccardi back out there.
He's done well, young Wojcinski on Crawford. Crawford, who had 12 touches in that first quarter, he's cut that back to 4.
He's been excellent, Sauce. So back in the middle. And we have a game. Graham will go up, Campbell down, Crawford straight in the air. Slapped out by Corey. Loose ball, overrunning at Leckis. The sure hands have certainly disappeared for the Hawks. Pachoni through the traffic. Well done, they'll run it through. Vandenberg has to finish. They need it, and he gets it. So just the goal the Hawks were looking for to take the pressure up. Vandenberg kicks his first goal, and the Hawks go out to an 8-point lead, 8-5-53. The Cats 7-3-45.
Been it fairly quiet, Richard Vandenberg, but once again we see Shane Crawford gets involved here. He's been a little bit quieter in this second quarter, but quick hands there, and Vandenberg does the rest.
Brett Johnson, good with his hands. The supplier in the end, Vandenberg to finish.
8-5 plays 7-3 at the MCG. The Hawks have kicked 2-2 in this quarter. Geelong 6-1. Graham still in the ruck and able to deliver all. Bartel found it tough in that situation. Cox and the Hawks sharing it well through the middle. This is Adrian Cox. Suddenly the Hawks have just lifted a notch. Barlow. Barker leads away to his right.
That's where they want Adrian Cox further up the ground, because not having had Joel Smith in the last couple of weeks, Adrian Cox has been able to add that to Hawthorn's game, the run out of defence.
Benny Graham's filled the space at the top of full forward. So he goes very short.
Robert Campbell's too far off the ball. He's about 70 metres on the opposite side of the ground, inside 50. Has to read the play a little bit better, has to get in closer.
So labour-intensive build-up here for the Hawks, but it looks like it's a chance for a chick lead. No mark. Well done for Milburn. Johnson leading one way. He's got Ling through centre-half back. And Sanderson. Mooney leads to the wing. He may not quite get there on the full, and got a pretty cool bounce. Hawks have got numbers here. Vandenberg, Harford, Adrian Cox. We better watch out from behind. Just got the boot away.
I think he heard you.
Well, good crashing of the pack though by Lekas. Rees got a touch on it. Crawford, they'll wrap it up. Scholl did dive on a little bit, and the umpire just giving him a bit of latitude.
Jeez. A real change has come over this game. Hawthorn's run has certainly disappeared, and the Cats, full credit to them, Sauce, they've been able to stop a lot of that running, and that was so evident in that first quarter, and that's why they led by so much, Hawthorn.
We just saw the chase also there on Adrian Cox. They got a run down there, and that's the type of pressure which you've got to do to try and stop Hawthorn.
So Campbell did well, direction of Johnson. Under pressure again, Crawford, good hand, too high, Pachoni. Even though he was ducking Brett Johnson, he is clever on the ball. Rees smothered in the end. Wojcinski knocked up getting the ball and done the job on Crawford so far second quarter. It's nearly into half forward. Players crashing. Cox hands off. Chance now. Robert Campbell hands off to McCabe on that left foot. Can he find someone? Battled a little bit, but out in front of Lekas. Can he keep it in? He did well in the end. Angelo Lekas back into the middle. Rees will mark. And the Cats will look back on that one. Hawthorn will go into a pocket. Dixon will jump and mark. And far too easy, Angelo Lekas. Rook really should have done a better job on him close to the boundary, and it ends up in that pocket. Dixon to go at goal.
He didn't panic, did he, Lekas? He was waiting for the hit, and that's a player that's got a bit of class. And we just see Ben Dixon. Well, they've struggled a little bit, their marking players. It was only their fifth mark between Dixon, Chick, Holland and Johnny Barker.
The ball has been moving into the forward line a lot slower in this second quarter, allowing the Cats to get players back and crowd up a lot of the players like Dixon. Dixon, it is two, I think. He has got it. That is a beautiful kick, wrong side for left footer. So 2 goals to Ben Dixon. He joins Shane Crawford as the leading scorer for the Hawks, and they jump out to a 14-point lead. It's 59 the Hawks. The Cats are 45.
We just saw the error there. Really, the Cat player really should have taken Lekas out of the contest there. But Ben Dixon, while he's taken some great marks in his time, he is a strong mark when he's on the lead and does jump out in front, and he becomes a handful when he's on the lead.
And Rees again involved in the build-up. He's terrific, hasn't he?
Very good. Has been very good.
Simon Cox 14 possessions, Harford and Lekas 11, 18 for Shane Crawford. They're the leading kick getters and disposal winners for the Hawks. King getting back in the ruck for the Cats, but the Hawks getting it out. Vandenberg sending it in. Barker. Gee, the Cats are really crashing hard into the pack. Ling kept his footing pretty well.
Well done.
Corey into the space, and they can run. This is Johnson. Chick almost got the smother away. Mooney had to work very hard. He did well to clear the pack. Rawlings trailing him and taking him over the line.
The only concern I have about playing the talls at Geelong, it's all right if the ball ends up there on the full and comes to ground because it lands at their feet. But if the ball does run away from a lot of their forwards because they're playing the talls, Hawthorn have that opportunity to run this ball away.
Yeah, I guess the Hawthorn defenders are very good runners, Stokes.
Well, yeah, that's what you have to watch, really.
King, Ablett, Mooney. And pretty hard to see anything happening out of that.
Now, this wasn't happening in the first quarter, and that has been a good sign for the Cats.
What's that, holding it up?
Yeah, just the ability to crowd, hold it up, stop the running game, and really just make it a pretty much keep players honest.
And particularly inside their 50 also.
So King winning it clearly, but it was all Hawthorn at the back of the pack. Rees again, no one able to put enough pressure on him to stop the kick out of defence. Ling, he's responded pretty well after Crawford towed him up in the opening term. Rook and Harley there for Geelong. Harley emboldened, but unfortunately for him, dispossessed. And this is where the Hawks in tight are able to release their man. Shane Crawford had a couple of ones away to the left, and it's Angelo Lekas whose number comes up. And he puts through the third consecutive goal for the Hawks and his second. Great running by the Hawks. They're so explosive from that situation. 10-5 plays 7-3.
And particularly when they run through the corridor of this ground, their handball is exceptional. We just see here, just the effort by Piccioni just to strip the ball clear there from Harley. And the Hawks, when they get it and they run in full flight, they just kept the ball going forward. Here we just see Shane Crawford picking up his 19th possession for the game. Lovely long handball there, and Lickers does the rest.
Well, he's become a goal kicker in recent weeks, Angelo Lekas. The greatest luxury to any coach is having a midfielder getting his hands on the ball 25, 30 times. But when he becomes a goal kicker, look out. Out of the middle, back out to 20 points. Vandenberg wrapped up in the end. Loose ball McCabe, who has been good across half-back. Dribbles a kick. Oh, great. Smart football, Piccioni. That is football smarts. Crawford has to finish. He does. Barker dropped it in the end. It should have been Johnny Barker. Piccioni's second bite at it. It's free.
Well done
Joel
by
Corey.
Good effort by Harley. Got caught behind on Barker, but he just managed to hit Barker's arm away.
So the game again has changed and swung back in Hawthorn's favour. King off half-back, hands off. Clark just bombs up. Campbell should sit back there. Calls McCabe in. Running back with a fly of the ball. Riccardi mopping up. It was Steve Johnson. Back to the square, and Graham Kingsley lost it. Graham will take it. Member side. Rawlings out of the back pocket. So just holding it up. 29 minutes second quarter. They'll be quite pleased to go in 20-point leaders, Hawthorn. Geelong's second quarter, 6 goals has been excellent. Campbell through his hands. Stone hands off. Chick been quiet. Scarlett. Milburn has to find someone late. God, that's a good kick. Oh, in the end, crash into with Steve Johnson. Advantage. Lord, and he misses. Is it coming back? No, he missed everything in the end. And had the time to keep running. Communication was down. Hawthorn have it. Go across goal. Rawlings has a teammate out there.
There's a potential mismatch for Geelong with an interchange made with Cox off and Holland on. So Cameron Ling in defence is minding up on Nick Holland at the moment.
He has played a little bit of his footy in defence, Ling.
Well, Ling had the job on Simon Cox. Rook on Lekas, and Wojcinski Crawford in his second quarter.
Here's Wojcinski. Looking for Corey and Ablett, but he just overcooked it a little bit out on the full.
It's just so important that the concentration is on song for the Cats, because it has slipped in the last 5 minutes. A lot of the kids have had big jobs, and in the last 3, 4, 5 minutes, Lekas Crawford starting to get away.
And it's where the Cats have let themselves down over the last couple of weeks is their disposal. Their errors in their kicking skills has let them down.
And they got to within 3, but the margin back out at the moment at 20, and it's nearly half-time. So an important period of play here. And Luke McCabe, who is running with Peter Riccardi today, able to run onto that.
He hasn't been bad, Hutto. Luke McCabe's game. He's certainly always getting the hand in, putting the body in. And has the opportunity to go at goal now.
So McCabe's just kicked the 1 goal for the year. We're very close to half-time.
Distance will test him.
This would really hurt Geelong and give the Hawks
Look at this.
to go into half-time with. And McCabe, a great kick. And the Hawks have kicked 5 in the end for the corner. An outstanding effort after the Cats really blew them away early in the term. And they've kicked 6 and 5 for the game. And now it's 11-5-71 to 7-3-45. The margin back to 26 points.
And I guess how quickly the game does turn. They've kicked the last four goals, the Hawks, and this what makes them a fairly special team, Dakes. They can just turn the game around in the matter of minutes, and their running game, well, they've got that all over the ground, and Luke McKay's one of those players that can turn a game.
Well, another bonus for Peter Schwab. You have a defender into an attacking position, finishing with a goal. Concentration starting to wane a little bit for the Cats, and they've allowed the Hawthorn to kick 3 late goals. There's a half-time siren. Who's on song? It's a 26-point lead the Hawks enjoy. And
11-5 to 7-3 as we start this third quarter at the MCG. Bartel, Wojcinski, Scholl was pretty haphazard in nature, that kick. Look at Vandenberg trying to track it down, got a very tough bounce. Mooney,
too high,
and he's given away the free kick.
Yeah.
You better give it back to him quickly or he'll give away 50. He's called play on now. Mooney, we know, has to try and control his tempo. One of the things Mark Thompson's been working on. There's McCabe.
There's a bit of a record.
Is he off then, McCabe? Barker pushing well down the ground.
Good delivery onto the wing.
This is where the Cats just need to slow him up a bit.
Which they've done here, except Cox is able to get free, and now they start to run the Hawks. Cox fire it into Crawford. Wojcinski, tough job and play. Did he do it in sensational fashion?
Super grab.
Now Lingle
could have undone all his work. As it turned out, it wasn't a bad kick. Harley going back to the outer side of the ground, but his kick is poor as well.
It hurts.
Now Ling is playing wide of Simon Cox. Simon Cox actually originally won that ball out of side. Ling was still on the member's side of the ground.
We've seen some bad kicking to start this quarter. Well done, Cameron Ling, that time. McCabe, well dispossessed by Riccardi, who tries to free it up. Cats had one of the extra numbers there, Ling, and now they've got them all. Corey, they didn't talk at all, the Cats there. Well played, though, by Joel Corey. Kept his cool and delivered for Riccardi, who takes the grab 65 out. Had Joel flying by. The lead comes now in the pocket from Kingsley. Lord, Cox, Riccardi. Well done. Ablett, we've seen his hand skills again on display. Aaron Lord, normally pretty good in that scenario. Not that time.
Very unselfish, Gary Ablett. Will run at the opposition, and once you have a forward or any player starting to work in that fashion, starts opening the game up. So Rawlings to bring it in.
The first goal of this quarter is really crucial for the Cats if they can get it on board.
Not sure whether he was going for help. It went over Mark Graham's head, but Lekas, I think, may have been a target just outside 50. Riccardi quick, well done. And Kingsley will mark. So Ken Kingsley, very productive in that first half. 3 goals was a return.
I was just saying, Dakes, it is crucial that the Cats kick the first one just so they can get some momentum going into this game.
This will test him, and as you're saying, all important for the Cats. They had 11 goals scored on them in that first half, so a bit of a negative. Kingsley, a cross goal, and misses everything. Not that behind post, it's on the full, and the Hawks will take it on that outer side. Rawlings gets another chance. So an early goal would have been nice for the Cats. He goes half back outside 50. Stone jumped and then did well. Second bite. Barlow well down the ground to Harford. Goes around in support where his teammates, allowing him time. Beautiful kick for touch. And out of danger and away from the Geelong goal, the Hawks. And we are between half forward of the Cats and wing out of side. We have a boundary throw in. Robert Campbell in the background there. Tallis spent a little bit of time earlier on in this game on the ground. It'll be a free to Stephen King, so the Cats are going to attack. Has to move it quickly. Mooney, Kingsley and Graham deep inside 50 at the moment for the Cats, not on screen. He'll chip, and Mooney, 2 bites, couldn't mark it. Ground level check, did he have it? Allowed to go on, good decision. Pachoni tried to spin out. Crawford, loose balls, going back to Geelong.
Free kick to Ablett.
So Bartel, it might be. No, Gary Ablett, you're spot on, Sauce will take it. So Ablett to move the Cats into attack. Good kick, Graham. Over his head in the end, didn't judge the speed. Lord around the body and misses. Minor score. And that's the thing with forwards, being a good forward is just coming out and judging the speed of the ball. That's what we can't describe. And in the end, Graham running himself under it. And a lot of the very good forwards have that rare ability to be able to time their run and at the same time judge the speed of the ball to run onto it.
And at worst, they bring the ball down in front, Dates.
Cox goes for Campbell and Wren. Dixon leads for him on the wing.
Play on.
Missed that one. He just blasts away. Holland in front and clear. Good spoil, no mark. But they've got all the ground level workers. Dixon kicks for Barker, good running. Harley couldn't hold him in his tracks. He's away quickly. Lekes breaks to the square. He can either take it or let it go all the way through. He decides to take it right on the line. And so the Hawks to get the opening goal, you would think, although the umpire's giving him a pretty tight angle.
Oh, how does it...
Well, Cohen, you know how it works. They actually played the game for 15 years.
I never took a mark.
He can walk straight up to that line and put it through.
Well, he doesn't
need to.
Angelo Lekes kicks the Hawks' 12th goal, 12-5, 77 to 7-5, 47.
Well, they do bring the ball through their back line very quickly, and Geelong had the first 3 opportunities at goal, but the Hawks, well, they do hurt you when you make an error.
Just watching Barlow then as Holland marked. He should have been running in behind Holland as a bit of a shield. He peeled off, Holland marked. Lekes finished. So the early goal with the Hawks, Angelo Lekes, terrific return, 3 goals. They lead by 30. Crawford through the middle, no one coming at him off half back. This is a handed to him on a plate. Yeah. Thank you very much. 2 easy Hawks. Crawford has 3. Beautiful move out of the middle. King with a tap out. The interception with Crawford.
Well, the bloke can play a bit, Dakes. This was sheer class, and Shane Crawford at his best, and what a game he's having. He's kicked 3 goals now for the Hawks.
Take a bow, Shane Crawford. 3 goals, along with Angelo Lekes, and 21 disposals.
And he's enjoying his footy again, and you can really see that, can't you?
Well, it's virtually his Brownlow medal form, I think, Hutto.
Wren. Corey.
And that's one of the problems of not having a player coming off half-back. I watched it last week with Andrew McLeod having an armchair ride out of the middle of the ground. And this is where, at a lot of the centre bounces, drag a wingman, take a wingman off his wing, sit him on half-back. If we win possession, swing out, he becomes a usable option. If not, the opposition will have to run into him.
Ling couldn't take it with him. Wren again, now it's going to come back. So great flexibility, actually kicked a long bomb that was almost a goal.
And I say that because at centre bounces, wingmen really aren't of great use, because if they win possession, they usually go wide of each other, and in the end, they're kicking around corners if they do win possession anyway, out of a middle, out of a pack situation.
So Chick takes and kicks to the space. Barlow, he turned Foster inside out, but unfortunately the kick wasn't as good as the little manoeuvre. 13-5 plays 7-5. We've gone 8.5 minutes in this third quarter. 2 goals straight to 2 behinds. And the accuracy, the main difference between the 2 sides in this term.
So the Cats have it through Tom Harley. Still deep in Hawthorn's attacking zone. He'll change direction back to the square. Scarlett will accommodate the kick. Takes a call to play on. Daniel Chick will confront him. No. He just sat back. Holland will mark. And Scarlett, beautiful kick in the end, finding an opponent. Holland centres it. Shane Crawford starting to get the ball again. Tied off in that second quarter. Being a bit unfair. Wren will hand to Vandenberg on the right foot. Hands back to big Sean Wren. 40 out, and he misses to the left. 13-6, 84 Hawthorn. 37-point lead. Cats 7-5, 47.
Some good signs though for the Hawks here. Sean Wren actually getting amongst it at the start of this third quarter, and really should do wonders for his confidence.
Great moment for a young Geelong player coming on the ground at the moment. Mark Woolnough hasn't played since 1998. 2 knee reconstructions. And a heartbreaking time for him. But he's on the ground. Milburn getting it down the middle. Great grab by Stephen King. Now the Cats. Oh dear. He had no idea where he was going there.
Tackle too.
He had no idea what was coming. And they've boxed on Wren, who's had an influence in this third quarter. Chip. Crawford again. Another handball this time. Harford. Clever. Great gather. And a lovely left footer that kicks Hawthorn's third goal of the term. And again, Shane Crawford involved in the build-up, and importantly for the Hawks, Sean Wren as well.
Well, Daniel Chick's work, Hutto, was terrific on that outer side, Sauce. He didn't go down. He kicked it, actually toe-poked it out of the Geelong player's hands, which is a skill in itself. Again, under pressure, good use of the football through the middle, and Harford, unorthodox on that left foot, goal number 2. So the lead is 43. And they have to finish the game off. Hawthorn, terrific last week. 4 quarters of football. Ling with their Cats up against it at the moment. Graham just kicked it out of danger into the path of Crawford. Out wide, Pachoni.
Just keeps finding the ball, Crawford.
40-plus possessions. That's what he should be aiming for. Into half forward. Oh, Barlow ends up with it. Standing start back towards the square, and sitting back Sanderson fluffed it in the end. Holland left foot, no, runs away from goal and kicks back the other way, and they did well because they retain it. Pachoni to Lekas looking for 4. It'll drop short. Chick will jump against 2, and Scarlett ends up with it. Or was he off in the end? Up against it. Boy, under a lot of pressure, the Cat defenders. He chips out, and Foster.
No,
it's Woolnough.
It's young Woolnough, Dax.
Good to see, Hutto.
Another good Geelong redhead.
Crawford, foot into the back, trying to just push the player out. Wojcinski in the back, it should have been. And we have a ball up very close to half forward. Member side of the ground, Hawthorn into attack, and at the moment it's a 43-point lead.
The first 5 minutes of this quarter, the Cats had all the play up forward. They just found it so difficult, though, the latter part of this quarter to try and get the ball outside of their defensive zone.
King, that time was able to get the tap, but guess who? Barker, Vandenberg. Almost within range. He's been kicking some goals this year. He cranked that one up. A fantastic, blistering bit of play by Richard Vandenberg. They are just in great form, aren't they, the Hawks at the moment? Their midfield is running. And I think they've kicked the last 8 goals, 15-6 to 7-5.
And I guess this is where this guy's improved, really. He once, when he first started, was a bit of a rusher with the ball, but now he's got the confidence to be able to run with the ball and not panic under pressure, and he's finishing his good work off.
And this is why they're playing good football, the Hawks. 4 of their goals, or all their goals in this quarter, Lekas, Crawford, Vandenberg, and there's one other, all midfielders. Harford can join that group. And in the end, true measure of accuracy is going at goals, because the goalposts do not move. 15 goals, 6 to Hawthorn. Certainly in control. And I think they learnt by their mistake in that second quarter. There will be no let-up. Balls bounce. Wren pushing with King. Nullify each other. Corey into attack the Cats. Crawford back there again. McCabe does beautifully over the top by Cox. Simon Cox actually took it. They were looking for McCabe. It goes back to Crawford. Standing start. Chips out. Bateman or Mark. 15 metres was called, so he'll go around too easy. David Clark on the mark has been quiet. Into half forward. Leckus. Hands off to Wren. Wants to join in on the act. Will go at goal. It'll land in the square and knocked through in the end by Milburn. Did well. 15-7, 97. It is all Hawthorn at the moment. It's a 50-point lead. The Cats 7-5, 47 and 14 and a half minutes. We have still got a lot of football.
Riccardi going to get a free from the quick kick in. Advantage should be paid. Ling takes it and delivers well. Here's Woolnough again for his second possession. Playing his third game of AFL footy, spaced 4 years apart. Graham can really send them deep. Kingsley behind Graham, had to work hard to get into the contest. Bartel, who hasn't had an influence since the opening term, and the ball out of bounds.
Johnny Barker looks like he's making his way off the ground at the moment. Nick Ruth coming back on, but Benny Graham only 5 touches in the game.
Yeah, he's just got to get himself involved, Dakes. Obviously, he's working hard on the lead, but I just physically just needs to get amongst it and just knock a few guys over just so he can get himself involved in the game.
Is it time now to put... I mean, the ball is knocked up being in Hawthorn's attacking zone. Is it... Do you push him back into defence now, get him involved?
Well, I think there might be, obviously, later on in this quarter. I mean, we are 15 minutes into, but certainly I think if the Cats are to get back into the game, they do need another solid defender down back just to steady the ship a little bit. The Hawks have kicked the last 4 goals of this game.
I think they've actually kicked the last 8.
The last 8.
Because they kicked 4 before half-time.
Yeah, 4 this quarter, so the last 8.
15-7 to 7-5. Wren. Here's Vandenberg again. And the boundary line winning out on that occasion. Vandenberg 14 possessions. Harford 13. Leckus 18. Crawford 26 possessions.
And Cox has had 19 too.
There's Jonathan Hay, who, if you've just joined us, an onlooker today, he injured himself with some back spasms in the warm-up and was a very, very late withdrawal. Ling, the umpire, getting in the road there. Oh, Graham.
McCabe
couldn't get to the contest. Settle down, Steve. Cox. Good delivery on the way out.
Just too easy. Just too easy. He's a carbon copy of that first quarter where they're able to run it out, peel off, go out wide, find players, run off and use it.
Great body work by Daniel Chick. Takes the mark as they run forward for him.
See, their first intention, as soon as they take possession of the ball, is to go back and move it on quickly, the Hawks.
Holland, that's better from Nick Holland. That's how he was playing a couple of weeks ago.
It has the advantage over Milburn.
Again, he hasn't had an enormous impact. 4 marks for the day, 6 disposals, just the one behind, but we know he can kick the ball a long way.
Both he and Chick really haven't been amongst it today, but good signs for Hawks that other guys are prepared to do the hard work, and these 2 guys haven't been that influential in the game.
Yep.
So Nick Holland winds into another long kick, and it is dead on line. No Geelong hands on it. So another goal to the Hawks. That's 9 in a row. 16-7, 103 to 7-5, 47, and they have blown the game in this quarter.
Well, they have 5 goals in this quarter, but Nick Holland, well, he tends to get his opponents, he ties them out as the game goes on, and we just see here Nick starting to get involved in the game, and he's kicked his first goal of the game.
So 18 minutes into this third quarter, Hawthorn have managed 16 goals. It is starting to blow out. Danger signs, big danger signs for the Cats. Riccardi to the square. Graham does enough to bring it down. Benny Graham, a rare touch, has only had 5 in the game. At the feet of the players, Rawlings back towards goal. Bateman will go through the traffic. Danger in the end. Crawford overran it. Graham's wrapped up by Crawford. And we will end up with a ball up, and the Hawks giving nothing away. So terrific signs. They lead comfortably by 56.
What about that? Crawford made a mistake and G made up for it, didn't he?
I think this is the area that Hawthorn have really got better at. Their aggressiveness at the ball, their hardness at the ball, and their second and third efforts is a real positive in the way the Hawks go about their footy.
Spot on. Wren slapped it backhand. Through the traffic, they do well. Stone, danger. Oh, Vandenberg through his hands. Corey, hands off to Bartel. Funny old kick. Ablett's mark. Play on. It was touch off the boot.
No, I think he said it bounced.
I thought he may have had it clearly. No. Umpire naturally a lot closer. Not too happy in the end. Has been the provider in at least 3 of the Geelong goals. Here's that footage. Had it? No, dropped it.
Quick decision.
So taken out by King, and King kicks a goal. He's probably been the Cats' best, or pretty much well up there. 2 goals to Stephen King. Good return from a ruckman, and has probably played a lone hand.
Yeah, it's been a good duel, really, the Wren-King duel, and this was his second goal, and he is a big, strong man. And when he does go up forward, he does provide the presence that the Cats really do need.
He's playing in the ruck at the moment. So that goal ends the run for the Hawks.
Melbourne's pushed into the middle of the ground. He's in midfield at this centre bounce.
Cox just smashing it forward. Clark trying to track it back with Foster for Geelong. Barlow for the Hawks. Piccioni, great tackle. Good work too from Foster, and the Cats get it somehow over the boundary line.
Terrific kicking at goal, the Hawks. 16 goals, 7, 23 scoring shots to 13. Pretty much starved Geelong.
Inside 50s, 40 to 25 for the day.
Not surprising.
Sean Wren. Straight to Wajinski, who just gained some yardage for the Cats. So the margin 50 here. Josh Hunt comes on the ground for Geelong. Their major ball winners for the afternoon. Joel Corey with 17, Wajinski with 16. Riccardi's had 15 and kicked 1 goal. And Cameron Ling has had 12 possessions. Lord and King 14 each. Cox. Riccardi. Corey left it behind. Scarlett, Chick. Riccardi, Milburn. One-on-one contests ahead. Graham working hard to get to it. Got to give some credit to Nick Stone. But what about Ablett? Let's have a look at his kicking skills. We've seen his handball skills. His kicking's all right that time. Gave Lord a chance.
Well done.
Rawlings. Great courage.
It was actually a great chase by Cox too.
Bateman's delivery into the middle. And look at the Hawks pushing forward.
Crawford.
Quick forward from Lekas. Crawford about 60 out. Not sure about that one. Probably not his best work. Harley. And on the rebound, the Cats have got a chance. They've got lots of players here on for David Clark. Just kicked it forward and moved it. Lots of space here for Wilner. Riccardi decides to pass. Kingsley has it's just dried up for him, hasn't it, since about midway through the second quarter?
It has. It's become difficult because the Hawks do get back and support their defenders, and they work very well for each other.
Crawford dragged. Only had 27 possessions in the #1 ranking. And we wonder about Jonathan Hay. Back spasms is what we heard from Christie, so we'll find out how he pulls up after the game. Quick kick from Graham. There's another behind.
They've got a few to come back into this side too, the Hawks. Thompson, Joel Smith, Hay. So still plenty to come back.
Sean Wren coming off. Campbell re-emerging for the Hawks. So Robert Campbell, another run. He has rotated with Sean Wren. They've done a good job. Stephen King has been good. Cox the long kick into the middle, running onto it. Harford did beautifully. Has space in front of himself. Two bounces into half forward. 3 bounces. He'll straighten up and he'll finish with a beauty. On the line, no, touched. Scarlett back there did enough.
He's played a good game, Scarlett. He's really done a good job on Daniel Chick, and he's just a great competitor. So
Crawford off with Certainly, I don't know whether it's a well-earned rest or
Sore feet.
sore feet. I think that'd be the problem there, Sauce. So short kick in Milburn. Sanderson. Cats off half-back. And Graham will mark. So just over wing. Beautiful kick into the forward line. Kingsley knocked away Graham, did well for the Hawks. Loose ball at ground level, and this is where they've been good. Johnson, a Bateman, out of trouble again. Cox with time. Normally a good user. Call to play on, hand off over the top to Stone. No, decides to go around, then hands off to Brett Johnson. Started the game on the bench, so they're sharing it around. Nick Stone further up the ground. Funny old left foot kick into an attacking zone. Dixon knocked away. Roos will mop up to Barlow. Can he finish? Open goal. Holland. That is 3, and he just got there in the end. So 3 goals to Nick Holland, and they don't come any easier than that, but in the end, good use of the football, finishes off with a Hawk goal.
They don't come any easier because the willingness of their forward line to work for each other. They get in and out of their space, and I think I've said it time and time again, but just on that particular play, they get easy goals because of their willingness to work for each other.
And it was goal number 2 to Nick Holland.
So 17-8, plays 8-6. And we can get down to Christie for an update on Shane Crawford, who may not be 100%, Christie.
Thanks, Anthony. Well, he just jogged past me. He does seem okay, but he was having a bit of a problem with his left wrist. He got the physio to check it. He gave him the nod to go back on again, but it does look a bit sore for him.
He's doing a bit of a run around the boundary line at the moment, Shane Crawford, and the fans like he's doing a little bit lap of honour.
Would his form this season be better than his Brownlow medal year?
Statistically, it's not quite as high, averaging 29 in his Brownlow year and about 25 this year, but it's very close.
But the thing about him is his disposals have been so effective. What he does with the ball, he really does set up their play.
And he's kicking goals.
Oh, Big Campbell got himself into a bit of trouble, lost the footing. Cameron Mooney just back on the ground for Kent Kingsley, goes for Big King, who's back in the forward line, which means Ben Graham's in the ruck. And the ball close to the line, and Wilno sees it out.
Now, Nick Stone has done a terrific job. They lost Johnny Hay before the game, but young Nick Stone, the ex-Magpie, has certainly stepped into the breach and has done a terrific job.
That would be another opportunity where Crawford could have perhaps hurt his leg.
There's no point in risking their skipper now.
Have the 3 votes already, wouldn't he?
Easily.
Ling pumping it in quickly. Let's see how Stephen King goes this time. Well done again from Stone. Almost out. Bateman. And it is. No, it's not out. Advantage. The umpire blowing the whistle and telling him to keep on running, which Rawlings does and delivers beautifully. This is how they go.
Through the middle.
Through the middle again. Relishing the space. Brett Johnson. He's got a lead away to his left.
Oh,
he's got chip. He suddenly ran in. The world collapsed on him there. They came from everywhere.
Well, he lacked the foot speed, and in the end he was certainly dragged in. I think he was always waiting for a teammate on his left to come in. In the end, realisation hit home that the Cats got numbers back.
Riccardi on the rebound for Geelong. Here's a chance for Ben Graham to take a mark.
Oh, well done.
Again, the spoil that time came from Campbell. McCabe trying to lock him in. Knew he'd go to his left. Milburn. Back to Graham. He's within range from there. Lord on the line. And another behind for the Cats. 8-7 plays 17-8.
Nick Stone back there again for the Hawks. Ben Graham has had a little bit of the football in the last few minutes. McCabe. Just under 28 minutes, third quarter.
You mentioned, Steve, the players to come back in. I mean, it's looking good for Hawthorn, isn't it, in the future?
And the great thing is that I think they're playing as good as footy as last year now. It's taken them quite some time, but their confidence is up and their willingness to work for each other has been outstanding.
Some would suggest perhaps they're playing better footy this year in the last few weeks than they were.
Yeah, I think the way they've blown teams away as well. When they do get on a roll, they just look so clean and so sharp, and that's been the case today. Ball magnet stakes, Crawford with 27, Simon Cox also with 22. Just amazing to think that Crawford some 18 months ago, there was a bit of talk that he might have given the game away.
There's been a few players out there today in the blue and white who wish he had it.
They've probably got the pickup of the year also, Hutto. Simon Cox from the Bulldogs.
Has been excellent. Ball comes in. The other thing you have to remember, the Hawks just starting to work their way up into peak fitness. Back into that defensive zone. Mark Graham up high. Cox is wrapped up by Gary Ablett, who continues to work well.
And I think the other thing with Simon Cox is that they didn't have to trade for him. He was delisted by the Bulldogs last year. He finished 10th in their best and fairest, and well, the Hawks picked him up in the national draft.
And he has fitted him beautifully. I suppose he's probably playing in a better running type style team, so possession's probably a little bit easier to come by. Off half-back, Vandenberg will go at the traffic. Gary Ablett in pursuit, won't catch him. They'll cross the other side of the ground. Harford has it. Nick Reese further up the ground, will be ignored. So Daniel Harford back to somewhere near his best. He's starting to get a bit of the ball. He's kicked some goals. Barlow, free kick in the back. Bit sloppy in the end, Wojcinski.
Peter Schwab has got this team playing some great footy, Dakes.
Barlow up, half forward. Barker will come out, and well done Foster in the end. Hand to it. Right in front of the members, we have a boundary throw in.
I say that because the work that happened off the ball there, their willingness to work for each other, and I've said it time and time again this quarter, they just continue to do it, and we're late into this third quarter as well, but their tempo hasn't eased up once.
Graham getting the clearance. McCabe, though, able to read it better than Riccardi. Ablett tried to hem him in. Harford. Again, a strong lead. It looks like Mark Graham, who is probably just out of range. Oh, he might have a crack with a torpedo. So right on the three-quarter time siren, Mark Graham. Again, the Hawks, another 6-goal quarter. They kicked 6 in the first, 5 in the second, and 6 in the third.
It'd be a fitting way to go out at three-quarter time with a huge torque.
A big barrel from Mark Graham. It almost made the distance, but wasn't really ever going to threaten as far as a score is concerned. And speaking of being concerned, here's Mark Thompson, the Geelong coach. 17-8 to 8-7. Last quarter then from the MCG. David Wojcinski still with the job on Shane Crawford. The Cats starting 55 points in arrears. Sean Wren and Stephen King. And I reckon Wren's done a great job today for the Hawks. They'd be delighted in the absence of Nathan Thompson with his job. Vandenberg. Been tracked by Hunt, but there's Cox. He's on his own again. Unbelievably so. Gets it in for Barlow. Almost the one-hander. Scarlett, Chick. Cats with the numbers at the back of the pack. No one to release it to, though. Harley, Rees, Barlow, Chick. How's that for the shortest short pass you'll ever see?
Off the boot, on the full.
Whose foot did it come off the Geelong
player? Chick kicked it into the Geelong player.
And it's a Hawthorn. Good call. Not going to Chick.
I tell you what, Guinness Book of Records, have a look at that kick for Barlow. Now, that is a man desperate for a kick.
Do you reckon that was the correct decision?
That'd come off his head, I think. Be good to have another look at that.
Might have come off his knee.
Maybe. Anyway, we'll have a look at Daniel Chick for the moment. Here we go.
What do you think, Dokes?
Maybe
off
the
the
knee.
shin? Oh, I'm not sure.
Anyway.
I reckon they do a good job, the boundary umpires, anyway.
Terrific.
Oh, just fantastic. Great kick from Daniel Chick. Oh, he's glad they made the decision that way. What a goal. He reckons the boundary umpires are just great, Daniel Chick.
Oh, yeah. Well, he did deserve that goal because he did work very hard to fight for the ball to keep it inside their 50. But what a sensational goal. Hasn't had a huge game today, but that was his first goal of the game.
Having a chuckle about this one, I think. He's been able to manufacture an easy kick. Well, they've been able to kick 11 of the last 12 goals, Hawthorn. So the Hawks can do no wrong at the moment. Helped along by the umpires, possibly. Out of the middle, Cox. Adrian Cox it is. Quick kick out. Milburn, hands off to Scholl. Very quiet. King trying to retard the Hawks. A lot of pressure still. Good signs for Hawthorn. Foster through the middle for the Cats. Full chip out. It's not bad. And sliding in is Graham. So Benny Graham, one of the rare touches. Very quiet this afternoon. Supply hasn't been as good as he would have liked. 11 touches in the end, 12 coming up. 2 behind so far. Skipper, not a problem from 60. Won't even make the distance in the end. Wren's back there, does well, making sure that it's rushed through for only a minor score. And it's 8-8-56, the Cats. 18-8, 116 to the Hawks. 3 minutes last quarter. And to bring it in will be Rawlings. Not a bad game. Has hit some form in recent weeks. Will go out wide. Cox will jump. Ling was there also. Cats in the end represented by Steve Johnson. Very quiet. Cox letting him know that he's in a game of football. And the Hawthorn bench. Tallis, Piccioni, Johnson. All to be bounced now. So easy, comfortable lead at the moment for the Hawks. It is 10 goals, 60 points. Half forward, out of side. Graham, third man up. Does well. Harford on that left foot to wing. Hawthorn with numbers. Cox hands off over the top to Adrian Cox. Can go short. And Dixon, time
to stroll in and kick another one for the Hawks. Three goals for Ben Dixon, and the Hawks continuing on. Now 19-8 to 8-8.
Yeah, far too easy really on this occasion. The Hawks just ran it through. Really, there was no opponents responsible for the Hawthorn plays here, but real dangerous signs for the Cats. Could become a real blowout now.
Well, the Cats, of course, have had a pretty healthy percentage with 2 big wins over St Kilda and Fremantle, and they'll be, I reckon, trying pretty hard to make sure this isn't a really big blowout. Their percentage going in today, 109, and they will lose a lot here if they get blown out by something near the 100-point mark. At the moment, it's 66.
One of the encouraging signs for Peter Schwab and his coaching panel would be the way the Hawks have been able to finish games off, in particular the last 2 weeks.
Oh, for sure. And obviously there was some alarm bells early on in the season, but obviously even their fitness has come through today, Dake. So they haven't stopped running, and and their probably second-tier players have also been exceptional.
Here's Barker as they go forward again. Very careful and accurate delivery for Barlow. Chick leading out of the goal square. Holland is back there as well, and Harford in the square. Here's one of the short options, Shane Crawford. Just to go on with the percentage, at the moment Hawthorn's percentage 92 going into today, but if they win by over 50 points it'll be back over 100, so that can count later in the year.
Well, it can, and it's one thing to be worried about opposition forwards finishing off and putting it on the scoreboard, but when you get that team's midfield start kicking goals, look out.
And Shane Crawford, that one is coming back. And he loves it. He's got 4. So 4 goals and 28 possessions. What an astonishing performance from their captain.
Really a best on ground performance today by Shane Crawford, but also great to see Sean Wren back in action today. He's had a terrific game. 8 kicks, 5 marks, 13 handballs. Fantastic.
So 7 minutes last quarter. Still a lot of football to play, and the lead is out to 12 goals, 72 points out of the middle. Joel Corey, the supplier, Graham the mark. and he will go back 45-degree angle and will kick from right on 50. So they've rare times they've been able to win it out of the middle and find a player inside 50.
Yeah, and I think full credit to Ben Graham also. He's kept presenting, particularly in the last couple of quarters, and getting his rewards now.
Well, he finishes off Ben Graham. That's his first. So the leads, there's still 11 goals, and the Cats move their score to 62. The Hawks leading 128.
And the advantage of getting the ball quickly out of the middle really affords delight on the lead. Ben Graham kicking his first goal.
So today Ben Graham 6 marks and has kicked 1 goal, 3. It's been inaccuracy that's really hurt his overall performance. Harpert, and look at Lex. Free again and driving it long. Good run up from Barlow, but credit to the man in front, Tom Harley.
Just so important in any game of football, the most important goals are the ones that are scored early in the game. When the tempo is up, and for any forward, that has to be the goal to get involved early.
Where would you play Ben Graham, Doug? Did you say centre-half forward earlier?
Well, no, look, I think it's time now. It really hasn't worked, and I don't know whether it has a lot to do with the supply, but I would have to push him back across half-back even now, because he is a thumping kick, and he can sort of miss a lot of lines and put the Cats into attack a lot quicker.
I guess, though, the one area that the Cats are probably really struggling is kicking goals. And if you were to go through the side out there today, there's not too many goals that are players out there that are potential goal kickers, and that's where Ben Graham falls into that category. So you're really robbing Peter to pay Paul. But
they've got David Mitch in the reserves,
Ronnie Burns
to come back, yeah.
We look at the statistics today. They've only had 5 goal kickers.
It's not too many at the moment, but look, that's one of the jobs that has to be addressed by Mark Thompson, and that is to, I suppose, introduce goal-kicking power into this team.
Great spoil that time by Stone, creates another opportunity. Look at Crawford striding through the middle of the MCG like he owns the place. He's run too far. He obviously doesn't own the place. Gee, that was...
Well, maybe he's missed out on a payment or something.
Yeah, Stephen King through the middle of the ground can really send it along. Mooney in amongst a lot of pack, did all the hard work. He's going to get a free kick.
Well, some late goals for the Cats now. And this is where Hawthorn, this is all part of their development as well, that they keep the finger on the pulse, I suppose, and play this game out. And these fiddly little free kicks or silly free kicks really have to be pushed out of their game.
What was that for?
Didn't see it.
Oh, John, no. Yeah, nothing in that.
Mooney. It's a little to the left. In fact, it's a lot to the left. And so the Cats have had their problems up forward today. 9-9, playing 20 goals, 8 here at the MCG. And
we were mentioning goal kickers, where the Cats have only had 5 goal kickers, while Hawthorn have had 10.
Again, add that to last week. Last week they had 13, so some pretty good signs and numerous headaches for opposition teams this season. Campbell didn't mark it. Stephen King has been the Cats' best. They're going to continue to try. Kingsley with a chance, probably the second best, goal number 4.
Well done.
Did it easy in the end. And some late goals for the Cats. They still trail by 10, and Kingsley, their best forward, easily with 4 goals.
Well, he's done his job, hasn't he? 4 goals for the game, and has provided he's been a target up forward, and I think his form this year has been outstanding, really, and one of the real positives for Geelong today.
Yeah, 18 goals for the year for Kent Kingsley. 18 goals, 8. And the Cats 10-9. They've got a couple now in this last quarter. The Hawks have kicked 3 straight. So it's 20 goals, 8 to 10 goals, 9. King, some forward movement for the Cats. Vandenberg there to Crawford. Here he is again. Goes the other side this time. Daniel Chick, and from the side, Wilno made the spoil. Harley mopping out, and he's got a loose man on, running for him in the back pocket. Sanderson's delivery's all right too. Stephen King, Riccardi leads for him.
King has been excellent. Really, when you consider they trail by 10 goals, he is knocked up trying.
From the wing goes looking Mooney. Well, followed it up pretty well, Cameron Mooney there, and his kick was designed for Stephen Johnson. Just a little bit too much in the execution.
Just so important that the Cats do play the game out now. Just as important for Peter Schwab's boys.
Stephen King's had 20 possessions today and 6 marks. How would you rate the influence he's had on the game compared to Sean Wren?
Well, he probably just, obviously, King's probably had the better of him, but he just hasn't had the support around him to make his possessions as effective as probably Sean Wren has.
Spot on.
Johnson's kick, almost a goal, not quite.
And that's where we get back to sometimes it is a lot easier playing in a lot of the better teams. I mean, Simon Cox is certainly helped by playing in a very good running team. He's playing off a wing, and at the moment knocks up getting the ball. Here he is doing the kicking in at the moment, but life is a lot easier when your team is winning possession of the ball. Dixon ready for the Hawks to go into attack. Brett Johnson sitting at half-back member's side. That's where he goes. Bump ball, took it cleanly, did well under pressure. Vandenberg over the top, so they work it into space again. Bateman into half forward. Oh, well done, Nick Reese. Jumped to the front. Ball will come down. Reese, good at ground level. Did he have it? Cox, in the end, missing the ball. Tried to kick a volley through the air. Milburn does well to slap it into the path of Clark. He'll kick along the ground. It'll dribble. Bateman gets a body in behind it. Won't go towards the boundary. Rawlings will see it over the line. And Riccardi tries to run off. So boundary throw in half forward. Cats into attack in front of the members. 10-goal lead at the moment, or just under. 58 points. Another powerful performance from the Hawks as they go up another gear. Players starting to get a lot fitter. Jonathan Hay missing before the game. Covered in pretty easily. Brett Johnson through the traffic. It'll go back free to the Cats. So Johnson to take it. Bateman clearly too high in the end.
The Hawks have just made a move. They've put Daniel Chick onto the ball now.
Into the pocket. Big ask. Mooney will jump through his hands. Back onto it. Boundary wins out. 25 from goal. Cats into attack. Boundary throw in.
Hasn't really got amongst it, Daniel Chick, so just getting some game time up on the ball would certainly help his fitness.
And as a forward, I suppose if you sit in the forward line too long, your fitness can deteriorate a little bit, so it's important that you are pushing the midfield and working hard through the week as well to maintain fitness. Rawlings, Tallis, and here he goes, Chick for the Hawks.
Strolling again through the middle, straight down to centre half forward. Rees worked his way to the front. Boy, he's impressive, and they keep on running. So he's got options galore through the middle, sharing it with Johnson this time, who pumps it in there. Barlow made a positive lead. Scarlett had good support. Foster can link up along the wing with Hunt. He's got a man running for him. That's Kent Kingsley, but the Hawks are able to close it up pretty quickly, so forcing him to go very short. Foster tried to pinpoint Riccardi. McCabe, who's been with him for most of the day. Johnson crashes through. Well done, Steve Johnson, in his second game, and he's finishing not quite what it needed to be on that occasion. Interesting kick away from Stone. Found Campbell just.
Well done.
Ball handling was excellent, and releases Bateman, who goes searching on the wing for Paccioni. Look at that pickup. Great pickup. Astounding stuff from Paccioni. Allowed Graham free, and now they line up across centre half forward. Touched off the boot. That's why Chick played on. What about that for a second effort from Daniel Chick? Into the goal square. Not quite a mark. Milburn chopping off for the Cats.
So Milburn with the ball. 17 minutes last quarter. Chips out. Wojcinski manhandle, kicks out wide, finds its mark. Sanderson further up the ground. Still at half back out of side Cats. Looking forward to the siren going. Ling will take it. Very quiet afternoon. I needed him in midfield, certainly putting up his hand. Scarlett half forward. Graham will mark. 1 goal to the Cats skipper.
You can hear the crowd. They want him to have a shot. Anytime he, Sav Rocca or Anthony Rocca get the ball, the crowd, you can hear it.
Well, that's fair enough, Hutto. This will test him, no. Will it go all the way? Mooney back in the square. Campbell goes in. Should have been a free in the end. A Geelong player throwing the boot at Johnson to Dixon, virtually handed to him. They have to rush it through. Rawlings and McCabe will just slap it through. So no need to have kept it in play. Gary Ablett Jr. on the bench. Certainly some positive signs, and 2 or 3 of the goals coming because of his good work. Rawlings, play on, over the top. Bateman had a little bit of time. Dixon, Bateman again, running into the middle. Brett Johnson, the left footer, out wide. Cox has to sit and wait now. Running back was Johnson, a very good player. And Cox goes in long. Hartford leaving it for Tallis and then running onto it.
Great tackle.
In the end, trip, no. Woolno did well. Rook goes in and goes over the line. We have a boundary throw in as Woolno has words. Hartford saying he was grabbed by the ankles. Umpire having none of it.
I think Woolno would like to get through this game, because on the last couple of occasions just hasn't quite got through.
Well, let's just hope the footy gods are with him, I suppose. Oh, Graham in the end against him. So it'll go back. Cats off half-back. Milburn with his head over the ball. So just so important that they do play the game out. Goes back, concedes Harley, goes across the ground. Scarlett has it.
And I think they are doing that. I mean, even though the Sting's gone out of the game, the Hawks have kicked 3 goals this quarter. Geelong have kicked 2.
So the Cats building again off half-back Ling. Graham, who's probably had his best quarter of the game. Delivery not bad for Cameron Mooney. Rawlings, though, able to take it. Riccardi. Good work by the Cats. Kingsley going for his 5th goal, not this time, across the face of behind. So it's 20 goals 8 to 10 goals 12 Geelong. Steve, what areas, is there any that Hawthorn need to work in to really make sure they're a top 2 or top 3 side?
Oh, well, I think if they can get their full team back, I think the real bonus today is that Sean Wren has had virtually a full game of playing footy, because I really do believe they need Thompson up forward to... when he's up forward, I think they stretch the opposition defence. So, and with Hayden still to come back, I think if they can get their full 22, best 22 onto the park come towards the end of the year, there's certainly every chance to really be competitive.
So with Crawford and Lekas and Vandenberg doing so well in the midfield, there's no real obvious weakness, is there, for Hawthorn?
Well, I mean, there has been some talk that their midfield was the weakness over the last couple of years, but I really believe they've worked hard in that area, and with the improvement of Lekas and also Vandenberg and the form that Crawford's in, well, you know, you really can't say that is a weakness.
Clark went for Ablett. In fact, he went further than Ablett. Oh, Graham. That was a bit of a shocker. Kingsley paddling well, but a free kick. Hawthorn free kick.
Yeah, Bateman over the ball.
So 20 goals 8, plays 10 goals 12. Not too far to go in the game now. The Hawks really enjoying themselves. Barlow able to take it almost all the way. Almost all the way. Graham back in defence. Hawks trying to keep it alive, but the Cats can run with it. Woolno off the left, getting some more encouragement from his teammates and from the crowd. Milburn will be happy to see it out.
You did mention then, Hutto, the Hawks, they try to keep the ball alive, and I think that it must be an area they do work on, because when the players are around the vicinity of the ball and a player is amongst it and he is keeping the ball alive, they're very much aware, very much aware that something's going to happen.
Well, I don't think Lance would be too happy when he knows the cameras were on him there. He probably wouldn't have known. Bit of niggle between Scarlett and Piccioni. That's at the goal square.
Well, it's no point being involved. 22 minutes last quarter. Your team leads comfortably. Shouldn't put yourself in that position.
Mooney delivers well. Again, Kingsley missed his chance for his 5th goal. Ablett coming in to lend a hand. Here's Kingsley again for number 5. No, uses Riccardi. And Peter Riccardi not able to get enough on the ball. And now Dixon can run. And on the way out, he finds Barlow. And Chick's got it through centre-half back.
So Chick ready to run now. Has Tallis forward him. All on his own. Out wide, Cox. Tallis is running. He'll handball over the top. Crawford to Tallis. No, Crawford says, I will finish, and does not.
You're going to comment a bit from that?
Well, he should have given it to Tallis, but in the end, confidence is up, and you don't blame the skipper. He's had a wonderful game.
Well, Lekas was in the goal square also, Dakes, on his own.
Well, I suppose he had players in support, but look, he had the time. He should have finished, really.
He's given plenty away today.
I would suspect he hasn't kicked 5 goals before. He may have, but...
Yeah, well, I don't blame him trying to finish off with his 5th. It would have been a huge finish for the skipper.
So
Cox,
5 minutes of actual play to go.
Off his boot. David Clark will take it.
Clark's been relatively quiet for Geelong, just the 10 possessions. Their major possession winner has been their ruckman Stephen King, 21 touches, 19 to Milburn, 18 to Corey. So Kingsley certainly their best. Into half forward. Oh, great mark. Rawlings got back. Benny Graham was sandwiched in the end.
He does that well, Rawlings, when he does have his eyes on the ball, running with the flight of the ball. He turns his back and just protects the ball, protects the contact.
Dixon to Graham will go on to Tallis. Goes around. Tallis will have to jump. He does. Good mark, running with a fly. So there's another player that'll be looking for a regular berth. Into the middle. I reckon Robert Campbell shows a lot of form as well. Certainly very agile ruckman. Bateman, they've switched the opposite side of the ground. He'll go in looking for Lekas. Lekas in the end, just too easy. It should have gone harder. Foster does well for the catch. Chick wraps him up. And we have a ball up just outside 50 in that corridor. Hawks into attack.
Really, the Hawks' dominance is really evident about the possessions. The Hawks have had 315 touches to 260.
Yeah, they've been certainly controlled the stat sheet. Very good. I suppose in a game in the last 3 weeks, they go into the first time in 3 weeks they've gone in as favourites, and one of the things, you know, I suppose it tends to crib in is complacency or overconfidence or just expecting players around you to do it, but that's been a good sign from the Hawks. They've managed 20 goals, 30 shots nearly at goal.
And they've all had plenty of the ball, Dakes. Yeah. 19 of the Hawthorn players out there have had 10 or more touches.
Here's Barlow to try and set up another goal. Big leap at the back coming for the Hawks, but no goal. Pressure on Hartford, maybe a little bit casual off the left boot.
Not little, too casual.
Simon Cox had a big run up there but couldn't pull the mark down, but he's had a big game.
Well, the hard work was he contested, brought it down, he had Scarlett eliminated, and really the easy part then was just finishing off. He really should have finished off the good work. Short to Ling, hands off again Riccardi. So he's certainly been up against it, the midfield of Ling and Riccardi and co against the Hawthorn midfield led by Shane Crawford. Just over wing, Mooney or mark. Too late at the moment. Ling starting to get some late touches. Goes in. Again, disposal letting him down. Kingsley has to work hard. Graham skips over the top of a teammate and runs off. Goes out wide. Barlow with plenty of time can run. Will take a bounce. Balances up. Draws a play, then goes around. Bartel knocked off the ball behind play by Tallis. In, and they find Cox. So they're in the middle of the ground, looking for a late goal. 26 minutes last quarter. Will drill a pass. It'll bounce. Crawford will take it. No, he won't. Does he keep it in? Yes. A little bit of time. Drew a player. Tripped in the end. No. He's gone. So Jared Rook doing well in the end. The Cats into Riccardi.
Riccardi off half-back for Geelong. Shane Crawford was arguing with the umpire for quite a while after that one. Harley. So this Geelong team in the last couple of weeks, after 2 great wins over Hawthorn and St Kilda, have really been taught a bit of a lesson by Brisbane and now by Hawthorn. Lekas' kick, Crawford trying to beat 3 down there. He's in the square waiting for Pachoni to try and get the ball out. Here's the Cats defence again. Riccardi striding through the middle. Got lots of players in support, but he had to kick to a one-on-one. Graham did well. Mark or free kick. Umpire actually paid the free. Kingsley's a long way down there. Mooney the first target. Rawlings with him. Ablett. Good pressure. Oh, well stolen by Mooney. Hit the Hawthorn player Johnson in the head. Ling around the corner. Kingsley's going to get his 5th goal after all. With a fairly simple shot on goal here, and that will actually give the Cats, I think, the lead for the quarter in terms of outscoring the Hawks. 3 goals 2 to Hawthorn, 2 goals 5 to Geelong at this stage.
Well, he played in the front position, and aside from that, in general traffic, when the ball is in dispute, so important because you get naturally a clearer view at the ball.
Kingsley kicks the goal. That's his 5th. So 5 for Kent Kingsley, 19 for the season, and the Hawks 20 goals 10, Geelong 11-12.
Well, I guess you can't ask too much more than a forward kicking 5 goals, and Kent Kingsley, who's played a really good game today, he's worked very hard and he got his just rewards by playing in front. Lucky kick came out of the pack there, but good luck to him in front.
Still only 5 goal kickers for Geelong, though, Dax.
Well, look, that is a problem. I mean, Ronnie Burns certainly didn't help the cause early in the game, but taking nothing away, defensively, the Hawks very good and making the job of the Cats pretty hard at the moment. So we'll have to touch on a few of the positives to come out of the game. One has been the ability of the Cats to cut back a 72-point lead by the Hawks as the siren goes back to 52, but there is no more here. And in the end, Hawthorn once more, as they build up, they have comfortably won this game by 52 points. 20-10, 130. The Cats 11-12, 78.
20 goals 10, as you said, and that man Shane Crawford contributed 4 of them. He had 30 possessions, and once again, we mentioned it, he could well be on his way to being right up there in the Brownlow medal.
Yeah, well, he's had a super game. He really did set them alight early in that first quarter. Another 20-goal game for the Hawks, and that's a real positive for them. That they are kicking goals, and they're running plays. Guys like Cox, Crawford, Barlow, Leckers are all getting amongst possessions, and well, the Hawks really do look awesome over the last couple of weeks, and they'll be full of confidence.
One man who's been outstanding is Simon Cox. Another 27 possessions today and 11 marks, and he's been terrific for the Hawks, and he's down there with Christy Moldhouse.
Thanks, Anthony. Well, Simon, a convincing win and an important win.
Yeah, very important win to keep the winning streak going. I think we got our form back a couple of weeks ago against Richmond, and it's rolled on today. Had another good start today, but Geelong fought back very well, and we did very well to kick away again, so very good.
And you must be pleased with your own game.
Yeah, I'm very happy getting a game, so I'm very happy with that, and having a couple of wins as well, it's always makes it better, so very good.
Now, games like this, you must be happy with your move from the Bulldogs to here.
Hey, oh yeah, it's very good. You know, you got to move. A lot of players move clubs nowadays, and it's made a good move, I think. So it's worked out well.
Great, thanks, Simon.
No
Thanks,
worries.